Well, guess what our first story is? Good old Uncle Joe.
Let's Biden it up.
Let's buy. Yeah. No, seriously, let's Biden up, because according to this article right here, it's from Splinter, and this is from Biden and his campaign. Biden thinks it'll be easy to beat Bernie. That's right, I said that, guys. Now look, I went on the record on the show saying that I don't think Biden's going to throw his hat in the ring, but at this point, with the fall of Beto O'Rourke, and with Kamala Harris becoming irrelevant and Pete Buttigieg slowly becoming the new flavor for the establishment, it's quite clear that Vice President Biden is going to enter into the race. So, it's going to happen. But let's actually go over what this article is basically saying. So Joe Biden is reportedly running for president, and this is something every single article all across the media has been stating. And his campaign is about to launch a video. And basically, according to how this video is going to be, it's going to be set either in Pennsylvania, and they're going to either go for something cute, which is something a lot of voters want to see, something cute and funny, doing a training montage over there by the Philadelphia Museum of Art, famous for that Rocky, the very first Rocky movie montage where he's training, or they're going to do it at Charlottesville, Virginia, where the president blamed both sides of the neo-Nazi march that happened on August 2017. Both are pretty odd, and it just goes to show you that Biden and his campaign aren't really talking about the issues. They want to put on a very good show, and that's how you get voters, by making a nice, fancy show. Ask how the Clinton campaign, how that turned out for them. So right now, at least right now, according to the primary, or what Biden's camp believes, is that it'll be easier than some might think. He sees a clear path down the middle of the party, which is always great. Be a centrist, never change, especially with Bernie Sanders occupying a solid 20% of the progressive base. Did he or did he not watch that Fox News town hall? He's really out of touch. And most of the other candidates are fighting for the rest. And the announcement comes at a moment when many of the party have become anxious about Sanders' strengths, with some beginning to wonder whether Biden might be the only sure counterweight to stop him from getting the nomination. A Biden spokesman did decline to make a comment on this. However, let's remember, there was an article done by the New York Times where there is a growing anti-Bernie Sanders movement happening with the establishment. And guess what? Mayor Pete Buttigieg, he was mentioned as one of the people who was part of some of these meetings talking about how to deal with Senator Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, these secret, not so secret meetings, the anti-Bernie meetings.
The secret anti-Bernie meetings. And you know what? Let's face it. Beto O'Rourke, he doesn't have what it takes. All he's good at standing on tables. I mean, I already mentioned it in the live stream video.
He moves his arms real well.
Yeah, but whatever. And he's just,
he can skateboard.
And he's long-winded too. And then there's Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, who are they're done. They're out of it. There's no way they're going to hit a home run. And now there's Pete Buttigieg, who I question a lot of his progressive policies and a lot of his stances.
Who was also a part of these secret meetings.
Yes. Yeah. Again, thank you for bringing the point.
He was also, I believe, a Navy intelligence officer at that.
Yeah. Right. Wow. CIA friendly. So there we go. And now it looks like with all those candidates either going to fail or lose favorability, Biden is their last best chance, and he is part of the establishment, and he's somebody who has a lot of connections with the Obamas as well as the Clintons, and we're going to go into that story nearing the end of the hour. But again, the audacity that Biden thinks that this is going to be easy, it shows how arrogant the Democratic establishment is and really how out of touch they are. Do they really want to go with a two-time loser? He failed in 1988 during that presidential election cycle, and he failed miserably in 2008. Every time he's walked out of his state, he's always made political gaffes, he's made mistakes, he's really creepy around women. There's countless video footages around that, but at least according to the Democratic establishment, they'd rather have one of their creepy guys than President Trump. They'd rather have an establishment hack, fraud, loser who is really out of touch and disrespects younger people, especially the millennial voting bloc.
Didn't he say at some point that he has absolutely no respect for millennials at all?
He did.
Paraphrasing, but yeah.
I think that I might be like one or two words off.
But here's another thing too. He's never apologized. He's never apologized for his comments about desegregation, especially with the buses in schools.
Yeah, the busing is being in support of that well into the 70s and 80s.
Running Biden is almost akin to running Harvey Weinstein. I mean, not to the same degree, but to a similar degree. I mean, Harvey Weinstein is maybe very specific in the terrible sexual things that he did, but Biden, he takes it, he's shallower, but he has a wider swath of things that he doesn't have a good record on, whether it be race or gender or income or age. You give a name to something, he's probably made a comment that you will not be happy about.
So I have a slightly different take on this. I mean, we're sort of saying, oh, it's so arrogant of him to proclaim that Bernie wouldn't be a problem. Do you expect anything less? Like, he's going to do the 20th century politic thing of try to look slick, try to play the part, and absolutely declare that you're gonna be the winner and you're the super best. I don't begrudge him doing politicking. Yeah. That's a thing that he's doing. He's
playing a game that has gotten a lot of experience in. He's made very high. He's grown to very strong heights, but he's using a rule book that is somewhat irrelevant in this modern day.
Well, here's the thing: is not only is it irrelevant, it's not just that. It's not clear that he even wants to win. If you press people that are in the Democratic establishment, in that sort of centrist, radical centrist, whatever that means, movement or group,
I would say extremist,
the big club, they would rather put somebody like that up, knowing that they're unpopular, knowing that they'll lose, and get Trump again, than ever risk having someone like Bernie Sanders be the nominee.
I think here's the thing: the Democratic establishment, when they were taken over by the Clintons, they predominantly became Republicans or Republican-minded. Yeah. And I think also we got to remember that Wall Street, the large corporations, and big business are still I think to some degree, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, still have some scarring from FDR and his administration. That was 60 years ago. Because when FDR first became president of the United States, he was implementing a lot of regulations and policies to help out the working class and hold the top 1% accountable. Now, were these policies all perfect? No, not necessarily, but it was a stepping stone, and it put such fear in the establishment that they would rather have a corrupt neoliberal system than ever have anyone close or akin to FDR. And Bernie Sanders is someone who's way more progressive, has a strong following, has a strong political infrastructure, and somebody like Biden, I'm glad that you brought this up, Biden is being forced and pushed not only by the Democratic establishment, but by the media and a lot of the Democratic backers who are still hesitant on donating their money because they lost so terribly by supporting Clinton. With Sanders, though, again, he has the political leverage. He really helped push forward a lot of progressive candidates during the 2018 midterm election cycle. He's been consistent with his policies for 30 plus years. And now entering into the race, he's still the front runner. I mean, you can do all the polls as much as you want. Corporate media can still do the landline traditional phones as much as they want. After that Fox News town hall, of all places, we talked about this in a few of our live streams and some very one-off episodes of Perspectives. But Bernie Sanders has secured himself as the front runner. Biden can't do that. Beto O'Rourke can't do it. Buttigieg can't do it. And neither can Kamala Harris or Cory Booker. They cannot gain the momentum. And if the establishment wants to run with one of these five, platitude Democrats, they're going to lose. It's just as simple.
Again, this is what I've been saying for basically since the show started, even on the radio, that in the end, what they have at their disposal is a paper tiger defense. They have one line of defense, and that line is that people believe them. And they've completely trashed their reputation in 2016, the Democrats. Biden has trashed his reputation due to time passing and standards changing and him not. Everything that they would fear happening, the establishment, is happening. Sanders has blown everyone out of the water in terms of people that have agreed to volunteer, in terms of donations. We'll have a story coming up later that they're already starting to abandon their pledges to not take PAC money because they're so far behind. They are throwing everything. They're trying to use a large amount of candidates so that they can get Sanders under 50%, so that in the delegate race that happens when the convention happens, they can elect someone else, and they're terrified because
using the superdelegates.
Using the superdelegates in the second round of voting, as long as he gets under 50%. But they're terrified because Sanders is on track to get well above 50% and win basically all the states. Even if it'll be incredibly hard for them if Sanders, even if he gets like 45%, which I think is think he'll get above 50 at the rate that he's going. But even if he doesn't get 45, it'll be incredibly difficult for them, even with the amount of corruption they have. Right. If he gets like 45 out of 50 states, for them to say, no, we'll pick someone else. I mean, that'll just destroy the Democratic Party. That's the time that you get that's when a new party will emerge.
I'm worried that they're totally fine with destroying the party in that way if it means avoiding Bernie.
Well, I mean, that's and the thing is, for me personally, and this is so all of you guys know here at Heartlands Media, I'm a huge supporter of third parties, and I believe that we should have a parliamentary system. Now, I know there's a lot of, pros and cons to that kind of a system too, but I think right now Americans need many choices. But I want to add in a final note to the story because we have to move on. Look, that article and how the Biden campaign is thinking that it's going to be easy to defeat Bernie Sanders shows that they are out of touch. They are afraid of Bernie Sanders, and none of these establishment candidates can do what Sanders did. And again, we have to mention that Fox News town hall. I'm not saying all Republican voters or libertarians or independents or casual Fox News voters are going to fall in line and support Bernie Sanders, rah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. No.
All you need is 10%.
Yeah, but a good small portion are going to be interested. And at least he had the courage to do that. The second person who did that was Tulsi Gabbard on Tucker Carlson.
Did you like that video? Are you not subscribed? Okay, you are now? Fantastic.